Ooh, that's staying in.
Excuse me.
Nasty Labs. Nasty Labs.
So welcome to episode 6 of Nasty Labs Podcast, part of the Greenlit Podcast Network. We're a podcast from a game studio in Japan called Chuhai Labs, and we talk about games, game dev, Japan, and whatever else. So open yourself up a Chuhai and let's go.
Open yourselves up a Chuhai. Did you say we're part of the Greenlit Podcast Network? Because we are.
I sure did.
Oh, shit. I didn't even hear you. Kinsey.
Say it again. We love them.
Kinsey, how the hell are you? What's going on?
I am doing great. A little bit melting in Seattle, but you know what? That's fine.
What's the current temperature in Seattle right now?
That's a good question. This whole week is like between upper 80s and 100.
Oh, God.
Which, I mean, for people who live in like Arizona and stuff, they're probably like, psh, whatever.
Right.
But in Seattle, we don't get hot weather very often, and we don't normally have air conditioning. So...
Yeah, but the rest of the year, you've got great weather, you've got decent food, not the best food, you got decent food, and you've got an awesome city, and it's kind of like a couple weeks out of the year, it sucks ass, but the rest of the year, it's pretty much the best, though, right?
It's pretty much all right, yeah. Because it doesn't normally get too cold either in the winter.
Yeah, it's not that hot in Kyoto right now. But I do have an air conditioner, and I do use it. And even when it's not that hot, I'm like, ooh, it's so hot outside. I'll turn that on. And like, I don't even care because our lives over here, not bad. You're gonna change radically when you get over here. You're gonna be really spoiled like us.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. What's going on? What else? What you been up to?
Obviously. Been playing more carved snowboarding on the Oculus Quest 2.
And the Quest 1, and coming soon to the Rift platform. So,
Yay.
yeah, that's what?
How the hell are you?
Throwing it over to me. I'm trying to deflect at the moment, trying to just give it over to Kinsey. She'll just keep talking.
I never have anything going on with COVID, so I have to be like, no, what are you up to?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing shit.
So, a couple things have been new in my life. The other week, I got my dog neutered, poor guy. But he's super cute, and he's walking around with the cone. And he begs for me to pet him even more. Because he's got the cone on. He's just like, please, I just need you to pet me right now. And let's see. Oh, by the way, his name is Neelix because he's named after the worst character in the Star Trek universe. It's kind of important, all right? Absolutely the worst character in the universe, but he looks like Neelix, so we had to do it. Last weekend, I went to the Kyoto Botanical Gardens. That was pretty cool.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah, it was. I've been before, but I've never been during when things start to grow, and it's pretty god tier. Wasn't that busy because we're still in this thing that's going on, but it's pretty great. I think it would be probably the best ever if weed was legal in Japan to just wander around and be like, whoa, look at this flower. It's just
weed was legal and it was still Hanami Sakura season.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Right.
Yeah.
Come on,
See,
Japan.
right?
Legalize weed, bro. Legalize weed. Yeah. That's what I've been up to. I've also I've been playing old games. I do have a new game that I've been playing that I can talk about later.
Nice.
But yeah, things have been pretty good over here. Oh, I ordered sushi a couple nights in a row because I'm a glutton.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's what I've been doing.
That's one thing I have not had during this whole COVID lockdown is good sushi. I ordered takeout sushi once, but usually I get off work so late that I've decided end of the day delivery sushi is literally not something you should ever do.
No.
So I have not had good sushi for a very long time.
I think delivery sushi as a rule should not, should not exist. But because of COVID and shit, all these stores that wouldn't otherwise be able to be open. They're doing it now too. So that does mean I can get good sushi. It's still, delivery is still kind of weird.
Yeah. But you know what's not weird?
No.
We have an excellent episode planned for you guys today. So we're starting with, of course, what we're playing, and then into the news. And we're also going to be answering your questions from what you sent in over at Discord. And thrown in there somewhere, because I went out of order, is the main topic. We'll get to that.
Kinsey, that was one hell of a segue. Like, that was good. That was kind of dark. And I'm starting to see how you work as a human, because you do that all the time during work meetings. You'll say, and speaking of nothing related to that, here's this thing.
It works.
Yeah, it does. It reminds me of your favorite show is Futurama. I think Zap Brannigan says, that's whatever you were talking about for you.
Yeah.
Just like, all right, I see what you're doing there, Kinsey.
All right, and of course, we're going to start with what up, and what are you playing, Mark?
Oh, shit. Okay, so right before E3, a game was announced on the Nintendo Switch, and was it on Nintendo Switch? Yes, it was Nintendo Switch. It was Wave Break. Wave Break is what I'm currently playing. Wave Break is made by Funktronic Labs out in, I think in Los Angeles. But it is...
Rad name.
Yeah, it's a really good name. I mean, it's got to be like a Toe Jam and Earl reference. But, because I think that's the planet they're from. Funktronic, I think. But,
Funkatron.
Oh, you're right. All right, shut up.
I hope that's right now.
I think that's right. So Wave Break is, it's been out on Google Stadia, and now it's coming to Switch. And the reason I bought it, I got tricked by marketing a little bit, but it is a wave race game plus Tony Hawk with storytelling elements like Hotline Miami, and also there's machine guns. It's a lot of stuff. And
I mean, that's all awesome stuff, though.
Yeah, it's all things I like. And it controls a little funky. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but you ride around on your jet ski type thing, and you do kick flips and all like skateboard style tricks, and suddenly at any moment you can like shoot things with a machine gun. It's kind of weird. And also there's an underworld crime boss. I mean,
because of course there is.
Yeah, I think it takes place in the 80s because everybody's wearing like sport coats that are like oddly colored. I'm really enjoying the aesthetic of it a lot, and the reason that I got sucked into this game was during Summer Games Fest. There was, when they were announcing the game coming to Switch, it was Weezer that announced it, and they were like, they had a music video, they did all this other shit. I'm not a huge Weezer fan, but marketing works on people.
It does.
Yeah, and it worked on me. And like I wanted to see what they did, because I know they previously did a Weezer Fortnite thing, and like I said, not a huge Weezer fan. I used to be, but there was something about this collaboration that really made sense to my brain, and it was an instant buy.
Nice.
I want to play more of it and like give you a review. Right now, I think it's a little too early because I'm having trouble with the controls. It's not as doesn't click with my brain as much as I want it to yet. But I think maybe a couple more hours, and I'll be able to say, Kinsey, this is a great fucking game.
Nice.
But until then, what are you playing?
So, real quick, what I love about the game that you're playing is that I am not really sure what it's about, but it sounds really fun. Like, I don't really know, but it sounds, you know what? Yes.
Yes.
Sold. So I'm playing two things.
Okay.
First of all, I was sent a demo by my friend Juno on Twitter, who is also a fellow game dev. And so they just released a demo for their game, which is Dodgeball Academia. And so I played through the demo, and it was really fun. It's a free demo out on Steam right now, and it's a dodgeball RPG, which when I first heard that, I was thinking back to the days of, like, you know, Mario Tennis and Mario Golf, when, like, the Game Boy ones were more RPG-like than sports-like, even though you were playing sports.
Right.
But I just loved them so much, even though I'm not even a sporty person. And, like, Golf Story, I loved it.
Right.
It was great. But this one's like that. It has, like, the dialogue sort of like Golf Story, where it's, like, really fun and engaging, and you actually, like, the way it's written, it's very conversational, so it's great when you walk around and talk to people. And it is a RPG where you have, like, a party and you can, like, equip your dodgeball friends. It's pretty sweet.
Okay.
And you can get into battles, and it reminds me a lot of Pokemon. Not in the sense that you're collecting animals, not in that sense at all, but more in just, like, the look, the feel. Like, when you go to the infirmary at your school when you're KO'd, you have to go there to be brought back. And it even has, like, very, like, Pokemon Center vibes with very Pokemon Center music. It's kind of great. Like, it hit that chord in my brain where I was like, this feels nostalgic, even though I've never played this.
Okay.
And the controls are really cool. Like, you're playing dodgeball. You're, you know, picking up balls and throwing them at people because it's dodgeball. But, like, people have, like, special attacks, and you have charge attacks, and different characters have their own special attacks or own special way that they play. It's pretty sweet. And the overall premise so far, it seems like, is that you're in dodgeball school, because obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
And you and your friends got to play in the big game, but you got in trouble, and you need to find a way out of being in trouble, because if you're in detention, you miss the big game.
Oh, I see. Yeah. It's an 80s movie plot, but
Yep.
yeah, it sounds pretty good. So I saw a couple of screens from it, and my first gut feeling was like a River City Ransom the world, but Super Dodgeball the game.
Yeah.
Like, you walk around and then there's dodgeball elements. Like, how do you level up? Are there random battles? Like,
it's like Pokemon, where, like, if you walk by someone who wants to battle you, you're, like, just walking down the school thing, and then it's like, da-da-da-da!
Oh, okay.
Like, this guy, like, walks over to you and is like, you walked by me, so I'm going to challenge you.
oh, okay. So, okay. That's why the Pokemon part, because that makes perfect sense. Like, if you walk in his line of sight, there's like okay, that makes perfect sense.
And then there's, like, kind of little story battles that they have, like, a little icon over the head that they want to battle you. But those ones aren't as much, like, random battles, I guess, as, like, the Pokemon ones. But it's more like they're going to, like, have a conversation.
Okay,
so there's a little bit more to those battles.
That part sounds like Golf Story. In, like, whoever's got the bubble above their head, that means you're probably going to play golf with them. Yeah. Got it.
Yeah, it's like that. It's pretty sweet.
Okay.
And then I'm also playing, I was very excited for this to come out, Dungeons & Dragons made Dark Alliance, which follows the Forgotten Realms storyline, so the Drizzt Do'Urden and, like, all those guys. And I felt bad because I've been waiting for this game to come out for so long, because I've read all the books and I know all those characters, and it came out to not the best reviews, but I am enjoying it. Like, I'm playing it co-op, and you're still playing as those characters that, you know, I know and love, and I know the story, so at least I have, like, a little bit of context. And so I think I'm slightly running on that. But it's kind of just, you know, hack and slash, loot, playing through the levels. Like, it's fine. The controls are a little bit clunky at times, but it's also on Game Pass. So, I mean, I didn't really pay for it. I mean, I did, but I didn't.
Right. So,
and it's only $39.99 too. It's not a full price game.
Well, can you tell me, like, it's this plus this? Is it, like, when I look at it, I think Diablo, but I also think, like, where would you throw it?
Yeah, it's kind of like Diablo. It's third person, but a little bit further back. Like, it's not quite like Diablo, like isometric. It's not that far back.
Right.
But you still can unlock combos. Like, when you unlock new moves, it's not like an RPG where you're like, hey, I'm going to assign this move to this button necessarily.
Right.
They have a few of those, but you can also unlock, like, X and Y together when you push up on the thing. Like, you can unlock those kind of moves too. But it also has, like, you know, like skill trees, and you have your attribute points, and it's an RPG.
It's an RPG. Let's rewind for a second, because you said a little something that caught my attention. You said, I read all the books. Now, do you read all of the D&D books?
Not all of them. I've just been reading that one like storyline, because there's a lot of D&D books.
Sure.
But these are in like the Forgotten Realms, which is like Baldur's Gate is in that lump of story.
How does it compare to this series, or is this like an extension of it, or?
It's kind of weird, because I read them a while ago. I was actually trying to work it out in my head, because I was being the big nerd where I was talking forever, and because my partner was playing with me, and the game doesn't really explain who some of the characters are sometimes. Like, you would have to go look at the journal entries to understand what's going on. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay, so that's the evil, like, Wizard Kessel, and he has the shard, which is Crenshinabon, and there's, like, these cultists, and they're all like, Tony's like, I don't care, I'm just gonna play. But, like, it kind of takes place in the part way through one of the trilogies, because there's, like, a lot of books, though. There's, 30 books. In
this series, the Dark Alliance series?
There's a lot,
and
because it's, like, the Dark Elf series, because it like Drizzt. It's so much easier to say Drizzt.
So you lost me. What got you into these books here? These Dark Alliance books?
Actually, my good friend Metal Jesus Rocks.
Oh, okay.
I was helping him clean out some like storage room at his house, like years and years and years and years and years ago, and there was like a bookshelf in there. So then we started talking about books, and I was like, yeah, like I normally read like high fantasy. Like I really like elves and shit.
Right.
And he was like, oh, and he saw this book on that shelf of that room we were clearing out, and it was the first book in that series.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
So then he's just like, hey, read this. I read it like years and years ago. I really loved it. Let me know what you think. And then I read all of them.
Okay. So that had a much better story than I was thinking it would. I liked that it had like it started someplace. It wasn't like, I just love nerdy shit, dude. It was
just love nerdy shit.
But it was more than that. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
And how much further in the game do you foresee you going? You going all the way?
Several levels in, and I feel like I'm progressing relatively quickly. So as long as it, stays at this pace and we're still enjoying ourselves, because at one point we did turn the difficulty up and it was a lot less fun. Because then the clunky controls you notice more when you're doing worse.
I see. So it's you and your partner are playing it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool. And
it's a four-player co-op.
Oh, okay. Like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Like that, but no buckets this time.
No buckets.
No buckets.
So is he going to continue playing with you?
Yeah,
or okay?
I think we're going to keep playing for a while. And I know the reviews have been bad about it, but if you've been on the fence and you're not sure and you have Game Pass, just try it. Like, it's not the steaming like garbage pile that a lot of the people are saying that it is. It's fine. It's not perfect,
Maybe it'll get better. Like,
yeah. I mean, a lot of the problems are patchable problems.
Right. Yeah. We live in the future now where games can get better. So, and we're both game developers. We know that sometimes the schedule is against you.
Yep. Yeah. That's totally true. And I think that happens a lot more with big projects like this. Like Dungeons and Dragons, Wizards of the Coast is a huge company.
Right. So
I'm sure somewhere down the line, like, they're like, we have to get it out this season because it coincides with some Magic card release or some shit. Who knows, So I'm sure something like that happened.
Yeah, it's going to get better. You're going to keep playing. It's on Game Pass. How do people get Dodgeball Academia? Can they?
The demo is out on Steam right now.
Oh, okay, cool. And
it's a free demo. It's great. You should try it.
It's great. I will try it. All right.
Fans of video games, history, or video game history will definitely want to listen to Retronauts. Each week, Bob Mackey and myself, that's Jeremy Parrish, dive into the stories behind the greatest games of the past and the history behind the hits of today. Check us out every Monday on the Greenlit Podcast Network.
All right, and right on to our weekly topic. There's actually two, so you know what? We're just gonna blast right through them.
Right through.
So E3, it happened.
It was a huge
it's a thing
E3.
that happened, and it was huge.
It has to be one of the biggest ones. There was, we had Summer Showcase or Summer Games Fest. We had Devolver. We had Nintendo. We had Microsoft. We had Bandai Namco. We had Verizon. We had. There's more that I can't think of. Like
It's a lot of press conferences, and like for not being an in-person event, because I love E3. I love going to E3. Like going to LA, and it's so exciting. You see all your friends, and there's all the press conferences, and it's a big thing.
Right.
But even without all that, I still felt like it was a pretty good E3 and pretty big showing.
It almost feels because it wasn't a physical thing. It feels even bigger to me because I've never been to E3, and I know that it's a physical location and there are hundreds of games on site. I can't see those hundreds of games. Well, what if they were all in a video format like they were? It feels like, holy shit, there's a ton of stuff coming out.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
All right, so
Go.
last episode, we made some guesses. Some of them are extraordinary because they were our hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams.
But we made some realistic ones as well. And were we right?
No. Is that like a flat
I was
out
like,
no?
wait. I have to remember what I said. I said Switch Pro. And didn't happen. But granted, okay, so historically, I should have thought about this.
Yeah.
Nintendo has never really announced a system at E3.
Okay.
They always announce it a few months after E3.
Yeah.
Like holiday season, but
yeah. Don't they the typical launch window is I think it's October.
yeah.
Yeah. That way it's they can hit the early buyers from the late summer buyers, and then they can hit the Thanksgiving, and then they can hit et cetera, Christmas on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you're right that it didn't land.
Well, I was wrong because I said I thought they were gonna go, but so no Switch Pro,
right?
And surprisingly, nothing about Splatoon 3, which I also guessed.
Yeah, that was.
There's nothing.
I thought for sure that. Well, I guess it was such a weird announcement in general. We didn't get a single thing right besides they're gonna show Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, we got that.
They did. I think that was literally the only thing that we got right.
Yeah, there was no Elder Scrolls 6. There was no we got more with Starfield, but
that's true.
I didn't guess that.
No, yeah, there was a lot of great things that were announced that we didn't guess.
Yeah.
I think I hoped like I always do that they're gonna make Super Mario 2 too. And you know what? That's not even a guess. That's just me being a jackass. They're not gonna do that. That's fucked up. So we got everything wrong. What?
Pretty much.
What was your favorite announcement?
Ooh, so there was a lot. I think. Well, as far as my favorite press conference, I will say Xbox Bethesda really blew it out of the park.
Don't you
That
dare
was a really
steal!
good press
Don't you dare steal my answer. But go on, continue.
Okay, then I'll move on to Nintendo because there's some games in there I'm very excited about.
Okay.
I'm cautiously excited for WarioWare.
Okay.
Because there was a few things I saw in the trailer that I was not so sure about, but I really like WarioWare. So if it's different, but it still has that same feeling when you play it as the older ones, then I'm all for it. It's going to be a blast. And I'm super excited about Mario and Rabbids 2.
Okay.
I loved the first game so much.
Oh, wow.
It's accessible. What's it called? SOCOM.
Right.
No, SOCOM? Yeah.
Yes.
SOCOM? No. XCOM.
XCOM. SOCOM's the shooting game.
SOCOM.
XCOM. XCOM's the alien game.
Yeah, as soon as I said it, I was like, that's not right.
Right.
Yeah, it's like really accessible and cute XCOM. And I really like tactics games anyways.
Right.
So it's really fun. And the rabbits are so dang charming. And I just love them so much. And the one thing I'm really excited about,
Okay.
which I don't know why nobody else is, but that's the new Mario Party.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Because it's like all the older levels. Granted, I do think it could have been DLC for Super Mario Party, because Super Mario Party only had like 4 levels, and it could have had way more.
Right.
But I'm really excited for the old ones, because it also sounds like, well, I watched the Treehouse stream afterwards, and Birdo was there. Birdo's back!
I know
Birdo's been gone from like
you've been saying
from
Birdo
Mario Party for
forever.
so long.
You love some
I know,
Birdo.
and Birdo's my favorite. And like they took her out of Mario Kart. Not in there. There's like 50 different kinds of Metal Marios, but there's no Birdo.
All right.
That's what I'm excited about.
Okay, that's why you're excited. This whole E3 comes down to Birdo. I appreciate that honesty, to be honest. Any other showcases that really drew in your interest, or like games?
One of the new IPs announced at Xbox was Redfall.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and it's like a 4-player co-op open world like vampire shooter game. Shooter game. Sound like my grandpa.
What's that? A 4-player vampire co-op shooter game?
Which looked real sick. It looked awesome. So, yeah. What were your favorites?
Okay. So, I'm going to do the same thing you did. I'm going to say from the Nintendo showcase, my biggest was probably Metroid. And while I don't think it looks like classical Metroid, I was really, really thrilled by the way they kind of showed it off initially, because they said, well, you saw the logo Metroid and you saw the number 5. And I like that they understand that we, the fans, love that legacy. Obviously, they got rid of that 5 really soon after. And like they're like, no, it's not actually 5. But Metroid and really, really drew me in on the Nintendo showcase. I wasn't super thrilled about the Breath of the Wild stuff. I thought like it was a little lackluster. And I'm not trying to sound like a spoiled fan, but it wasn't that much. It was, it just felt like, okay, it's Breath of the Wild, but now you're in the sky. That's cool.
It's like Nintendo opened up a bag of M&Ms, and like the last 2 things we saw, they were like, 1.
Yeah.
Here's another one, and then we still have like the whole bag.
Yeah, and they were just brown M&Ms. All right.
Yeah.
Still an M&M though. Yeah, but outside of the Nintendo showcase, for me, the big heavy hitter was Outer Worlds and Outer Worlds 2, and I loved the first game. I thought it's not perfect. It's not a perfect game by any means, but the sense of humor is up my alley, up my street, and the new trailer. If you haven't seen it, it's
so good.
It's so good because there's zero gameplay, and it's a very meta humor style trailer where they just kind of describe how good trailers are made. And then at the very end, they just say, and this is the game, Outer Worlds 2. Like, has nothing to do with the actual game at all. And I think that whoever was in charge of that really should get a pat on the back, because it's such a great way of saying, yes, the game is coming out, but don't worry, it has nothing to do with this game footage, and it'll be out in a few years. Just leave us alone. It is coming. And I think that was more for investors. Maybe that was more for stockholders or something. I don't know. But as a fan of the series, I'm really excited. And
me too.
Also, given that Bethesda is now under the Microsoft brand, I think that will inevitably lead to some really good things. I was pretty pumped about that. usually I'm not pumped or psyched when like Microsoft buys up some smaller studios, but I think they've been doing really well with that lately. I think their track record is like really improved. I think them like how they're handling Double Fine and Bethesda seem really, really positive to me. So that's what I'm pumped about. Also, obviously, we haven't mentioned Devolver. Devolver.
Their showing was as Devolver as ever, and I loved it.
Yeah, I mean that's what I got. Devolver is made for the future. They are future people.
Future.
Yeah, yeah. Futures. Future. Like I gotta say, they every year they outdo themselves. Guys, if you haven't seen the Devolver Direct, stop everything. Go back to 2017. Watch their first one. Watch it up to now. See what they're doing. They're the only game company that has a narrative in their showcases, and it all matters. And it's so brilliant. Big ups to them. I love Devolver. Good Lord.
Me too.
Yeah. Like, hey, if there's ever a way that Chuhai Labs can hug Devolver, I'm for it. All right. Just I didn't say work with, I didn't say work for, just hug and say
hug.
You're doing it. Okay. I love it.
Perfect. Yeah. And next up for our main topic.
Right.
Because I thought about pushing this one to the next episode, but this one's very timely. I mean, so Z3, but the Nintendo 64 just had its 25th birthday. Not only does that make me feel like I need to crumble into dust, but I also love that system.
Did you write that?
I have really fond memories of it.
Did you write that ahead of time? Because that's tight.
No.
Not only am I an old fuck, but that's yo, where are you at with this? You want to talk about how you want to talk about this 25 years of this system? Where were you? How old were you?
Yeah. What?
How old were you when it came out?
It came out in 96? So I would have been 11.
We're the same age. So yes, yeah. I was 11. Yeah. Did you get it at launch?
I don't remember. I want to say we got it for a holiday. So Christmas. So it would have been like right after launch. And I played a lot of Mario 64.
Right.
And when Zelda came out, that's when I thought games couldn't get any better. That feeling of like when after you do the Kakariko Village stuff and you go out onto Hyrule Field for the first time and it pans and it shows you how big the world is, I was like, oh my God. Like, it looks so real.
Yeah, that would have been, okay. I don't want to interject too much here, but I didn't have one when it came out, 64 when it came out. I had the PlayStation, and I imagine your Hyrule Field experience was a lot like in Final Fantasy VII when I got to go outside of Midgar, and it's like, oh, there's the world.
Yep.
So, like, what were some other games that really, really clawed into your brain?
Definitely Diddy Kong Racing. I love Diddy Kong Racing. It is better than Mario Kart 64.
Yes.
Mario Kart is better overall.
Yes.
You know, there's as a franchise. But man, that like one player like story mode was so good.
So good.
Could you play it 2-player too? Maybe, but it was great. It was so good.
Yeah. The way you would like get to play different types of stages. There were bosses. I love that game. I'm with you. That was it's not a deep cut, but I didn't expect that one from you.
Yeah, it's really good. I love Banjo Kazooie. I actually started replaying it because it's also on Game Pass. And some other ones that are a little bit less known are, let's see, Mischief Makers. Excellent game made by Treasure, who makes Gunstar Heroes. So obviously it's going to be good. Chameleon Twist 1 and 2 are very fun. I played a lot of Gex. even though Gex was on the PlayStation and better.
Yeah.
But I played it on the 64.
Right.
And all the like random pop culture references I remember not really getting were great.
Great. Great. For me, it was Bomberman 64. I know it's not a traditional Bomberman, but the single player is an absolute it's a joy to play that game.
Yeah.
And I still think they were on the right track with the multiplayer. I know it is radically different, but there was so many great ideas to it, and I think it holds up pretty well. I think it's also still really pretty. Our boss Giles, he worked on 1080 snowboarding. It's a pretty cool game.
Yeah.
It's that was a game that I played in my 20s when I had weed, and
Nice. It's the best time to play that game.
yeah, that's a weed game for sure.
It's probably how Giles played it too.
It's probably how he made it.
I love it.
Let's see. Obviously, GoldenEye, that was a huge part of everyone's life, and then one of my odd duck games is the Mystical Ninja starring Goemon.
Oh, I love the Goemon games. And the Mystical Ninja 2. Wait, no. Goemon's Great Adventure. That's what it's called. The second one on the system. That one's so good.
It's just, they're weird. It's a lot like Bomberman 64 where like they're trying something new and it doesn't quite work. But at the time it was like, oh, this is just wacky. And then later on, like I got a Nintendo 64, like, you know, in my 20s or whatever. And Ogre Battle 64 is to me, it's a lost gem of a title. I think it's absolutely phenomenal and one of the best games on the console, even though it is also very broken and not right. But there wasn't any RPGs, so.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't play RPGs until I got a PlayStation.
Right.
But I was one of the weird people, though, who didn't like GoldenEye.
Yeah.
I wasn't very good at it. I don't know what it was, but I was like gonna die on this horrible hill when I was younger that the multiplayer in Donkey Kong 64 is basically like GoldenEye, but you're monkeys. You're all the Kongs. And I used to say it was better than GoldenEye, and 12-year-old Kinsey or whatever was gonna die on that hill.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna be that fucking lanky Kong with my weird grape shooter. He's like a weird, creepy uncle, but like, it was awesome.
Oh, that reminds me of another bad FPS game on the N64 that was like a good idea. South Park. That was. Do you ever play that game? It was so weird. You would one of the moves was to take a snowball and then pee on it and throw it at people.
There was a lot of South Park games on that system.
Yeah.
There's also like a trivia game on that system. There's a lot.
Yeah. Weird. Kind of weird. Great system. It's really weird to go back to it. And I think I don't know your favorite game on the system, but I'm going to say mine was probably Diddy Kong, actually.
Oh, Diddy Kong's so good. I don't know. I always go back and forth because my biggest nostalgia one is Ocarina of Time.
Right.
But I always jump around. When I don't know if I know my favorite 64 game. And sometimes I say Mischief Makers just because no one else usually says it, but it might actually just be Ocarina. But
oh, Blast Core. Man, there were so many good games for that system.
Blast Core's good. And the Donkey Kong rap is like iconic. I wonder if it's on Spotify.
I don't even know that. That sounds great. I want to hear that right now.
Yeah, like if you play Donkey Kong 64 and you just let the intro screen go, then it has like the Donkey Kong. DK! Donkey Kong!
My mind...
He's the leader of the bunch. You know him well.
So it's like really 80s style rapping?
Yeah,
like
it's really bad.
To me, like my mind went to like, hey, everybody, it's me to say. Like that's where mine went. That like, oh, this is going to be horrible. Okay, yeah. I'll listen to it. I'll give it a shot. It sounds like something you need weed for to appreciate. Right.
Maybe. But 64 was great though. Happy 25th birthday.
25th. What a celebration.
In this quarter on the Greenlit Podcast Network, Chris Sims and Matt Wilson. And in this quarter, VHS oddities, confusing animation, and modern not-so-classics.
Plus snacks, movie
movie fighters.
We watch movies and beat them up.
All right, next up, we got the news. And I only have 2 news stories this week because we had 2 main topics and didn't want it to go too long, and you get it. You get it. So, first one. Final Fantasy IX, which is my personal favorite, is getting an animated series. Cybergroup Studios will adapt the game into a series for kids, which is weird. So 8 to 13-year-olds is their like target audience, and Square Enix is co-developing it. So I mean, they have like say, but like, so I really like Final Fantasy IX, and I feel like it gets left out of a lot of things because like, I don't know what happened. Like, everyone was so excited about 7, and then a lot of people were disappointed with 8, and then they just didn't care about 9. And it had the chibi characters on the front, and I've heard a lot of people say that, and I'm like, well, no, okay. The story is actually kind of dark. Like, when you break it down, it's really about dealing with grief and death. So, I don't know. 8 to 13-year-olds!
This is my first time hearing this news. I didn't follow up on this. I'm not a huge Final Fantasy IX fan. However, I do see the reason why they would pick 8 to 13 because people like you, if you were to have kids, you would be like, oh shit, I loved Final Fantasy IX.
That's true.
And I need to get you a shirt, and Timmy, you need to get like this, and like this, you would be buying crap all the time for them. It seems like the ideal candidate, like age group.
That's a good point. It's all a big marketing thing. But then again, why 9? It's probably because the characters are so dang cute.
Yeah. What's the Black Mage's name?
Vivi.
And like Vivi. Okay, to me, Vivi alone is like, oh yeah, that is adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Vivi is super cute, and that's what most people think of when they think of Final Fantasy IX. Right. But like Vivi's storyline, well, it's a really beautiful storyline, right. But it's basically like them coming to terms that, wait, am I like an automaton? Was I made to be a soldier in battle? Like, was my only thing to kill?
Oh.
Even though he's like more sentient than some of the other black mages, and he's trying. Oh, spoilers! And he's trying to figure it out and figure out why some black mages are just like killing machines, and why other ones have like a conscience.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's deep.
It's deep stuff. So it shouldn't be for 18 to 13-year-olds is what you're, or 8 to 13-year-olds is what you're saying. It
18
should,
to 13?
18 to 13. We're going backwards. 18 to 13.
We'll see, though.
Okay.
It'll be cute either way.
And where's this going to be? Is this going to be on Netflix or?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right. Fuck it. Okay. We just know it's being made. We don't know anything else. Thank you for that news update, Kinsey. What else is happening?
Mm-hmm. And also, PAX West officially announced that they're going to be an in-person event September 3rd through the 6th this year. Tickets are supposed to go on sale within the next 2 weeks. Vaccinations are not required, and it's a whole thing. And I love PAX. I love PAX so much. I go every year. I really like it. I always have a blast. But, like, not going to big events for so long, I don't know if my first big event should be PAX.
It's going to be weird.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. First, PAX West is it's probably my favorite event.
It's so much fun.
It's so much love at that event. And, dang. So if you're still living in Seattle, if hypothetically, you don't think you'll be going because the masks or the vaccinations?
I think you do have to wear masks.
Okay.
I think. I'm not positive.
Okay, but
but
assuming...
I don't know. Like, I have a lot of friends that'll be in town, so I will probably end up going.
Right.
Especially if one of them has an extra badge for me.
Of course.
But it just would be so weird to go from like, it's like going from 0 to 60, like not going out for months and months and months and months, or just having like a one-on-one with a friend because you're both vaccinated, and then all of a sudden you're in like PAX. It's like so many people. Everyone's gonna realize how much agoraphobia they have now.
Yeah, it's like because it's definitely one of the busier, like not necessarily busier, but it's tight hallways.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna limit the tickets, which is good because then you're going to have a little bit more breathing room. But at the same time, like PAX West tickets sell out in like 2 seconds. So if they, have like 50% capacity or whatever, like it's going to be really hard to get tickets.
Do we know any game companies that have announced participation, or this is just it's too early right now?
I don't think too many have yet. I think I noticed on games industry Twitter,
right,
people are kind of all over the place on how they feel about it. Some people want to jump right back in, which I totally understand.
Sure.
Because like we haven't had a lot of social interaction besides online for a long time. And other people are kind of skeptical, or like if you have any sort of like immunocompromised anything, you might be like, ooh,
right.
It's probably not a good idea yet.
Oh, man.
So it's tough, but I hope it goes off without a hitch. I hope it's not another like swine flu PAX West.
Yeah.
Only like Delta variant COVID. No thanks. But we'll see. Hopefully they're going to have all that safety stuff. Like they already have it in mind, obviously, because it's a huge event and they're going to try to do it. So best of luck to PAX West.
Yeah, I hope it happens. I hope like of course they'll take the proper precautions. I'm not going to say any of that stuff, but like I want us to get back on track because PAX West is my favorite event. So it only makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of international partners probably won't be coming.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It'll be a lot of like US, maybe Canada, but I'm pretty sure the Canadian border's still closed.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think you can go up there if you like have like a visa, or you can apply for a visa, but like you can't go up there as a tourist. So I don't even know if they're going to be able to, like Canadian developers.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see. It's a couple months off. And it's on my birthday.
Oh, shit. Oh, wait. Which day is your birthday? The 3rd? The 4th?
Yeah.
The 5th? Or the 6th?
So it's the 3rd. So it's also Bit Summit. So it doesn't matter what country I'm in. I'm still going to have a birthday at a game convention.
That's pretty slick. That's pretty slick.
That's pretty cool. Planned it pretty good.
Yeah, your parents did. That's for sure. They're like, all right. Your mom was like, no, tomorrow.
In the future, there's going to be very important game things that she's going to want to go to and have a birthday party at. Thanks, Mom. Next up, we got Call Me Up, where we answer your Discord questions. If you ever want to ask a question that we can answer on the podcast, go ahead and leave it in the Call Me Up channel on our Discord channel.
Heck yeah. So,
first question. What are some of the challenges you guys experienced making a VR game? Also, have you guys thought about a VR WarioWare-esque game? Seems like it would have a lot of potential. Great podcast, by the way.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. I like that. I'll take the compliment all day. So Chewy Labs has been developing on VR since Oculus DK1, the very, very first console. We've been making VR titles for like contract work, and there's always challenges. It's kind of this weird thing because it's still new territory, and kind of the biggest one I think that we always hit upon is not breaking the sense of reality. Like once you're in there, how do we make it seem like this is it? While because it's very easy to break your sense of reality if you hit your hand on something, or you start to get motion sickness. Because as soon as those things happen, you're like, oh, this is a game.
Yeah, and you're out of it too.
You're out of it immediately.
I do remember talking to Giles when he was saying like, making Carve. That was a big thing to think about, was motion sickness, and that's why the controls turned out the way they did for Carve. Right. Is like all the trial and error of what is not going to make people sick, which I really appreciate because I get sick in VR, right. And I do not get sick when I'm snowboarding in Carve.
Yeah, like before I arrived, they were working on a title called Zombie Taxi, and that game, it's a great concept. You like drive around a taxi and you pick up zombies and you take them to their locations. It's not that it's not that different from like Crazy Taxi or something.
Yeah.
But it's first person, obviously, and the struggle they hit upon early on was the motion sickness because it's not you that's controlling the motion; it's you pressing the gas to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a button makes you move, whereas in Carve, it's your arms and it's your body, and it feels very natural.
Yeah.
And Zombie Taxi is not the only game that hit this this problem. This is like the common problem is motion sickness, and once, like I said, once you get that motion sickness part, you're instantly broken from the VR reality.
And you're ripping the headset off and you're going to the bathroom.
Yeah. I don't easily get motion sickness, but even in Carve, there's not while you're playing the game, but early on when we were having testing out the locomotion of moving around in the log cabin. There was some ways that we could debug the game, and those would give me motion sickness instantly. Within 1 second, I would be like, "Oh no, take it off!" But that was for debugging, so we knew that wasn't going to be in the final game. But it was still just like anytime we had to do it, I would take the headset off, then move forward with the controller, then put the headset back on. So
my gosh,
yeah, just so I didn't get that. But the next part of the question. Have you ever thought of a VR WarioWare-esque game?
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. We haven't. It sounds like you have. That's pretty. I mean, I'm a diehard WarioWare fan.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah. For me, WarioWare DIY on the DS. If we could bring that into the VR, that's a perfect experience. Because you can assemble things, you can make your own mini games, you can make your own this. It almost seems like too good to be true on VR because you could make mini games and then share them with other people.
I do like that, putting stuff together in a WarioWare fashion. With the controllers, you just have to build this thing real quick. And in all WarioWare games, it's it's over really quickly.
Yeah.
But I also wonder if that's good or bad for VR. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's an interesting concept. I definitely like that a lot.
Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, and thank you, adult person who said this question.
Shawarma.
Oh, it does say shawarma.
It's like the food.
I want a shawarma. Yeah. And the next question, from Scott Popular, one of our friends up in Tokyo. How's it going, guys? Long-time listener, first-time caller. I want to know, who is the best Street Fighter 2 player at Chuhai Labs? Also, did you guys have a chance to play or see Guilty Gear Strive? I'm going to answer that right away that I am terrible at Street Fighter 2. I've played Scott Popular, and he beat me with one hand. I'm not joking. He beat me with one hand because he was like, "Oh nah, bro. If you're gonna pick Guile, then you gotta do this. No, you gotta and he looked at me while didn't even look at the screen and was just like, "No, here's how I'm gonna beat you." And it was so embarrassing. But the best player at our office is probably Charlie. I'll throw a picture of him up right now. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But are you any good at Street Fighter 2?
Nope, not at all. Actually, for a while I wanted to be good at fighting games, and it just never happened to me. Nope. I like them, but I like playing against people who are similar to my level of ability.
Yeah.
Because fighting games is the kind of thing where if you just get beat every single time, it's not really that fun.
Yeah, to me, it's like memorizing a spreadsheet. Okay, this character is gonna do this, so therefore I need to only do this, and and it's fast at the same time. It never clicked with me either.
Nope. Especially the charge moves in Street Fighter, where you have to hold something back and then up and forward. I can't do the charge characters. I always get it wrong. So then I spend all my time being like, okay, hold it back before, like trying to do the move where I don't actually ever do it. And then I just like, obviously the other person's not like waiting for me to figure my shit out. Like,
yeah, right.
They're murdering me.
So Scott Popular had 2 more questions, and the first one is to me. The second one's to Kinsey. The first one is, what are your thoughts on Guilty Gear Strive's music? Does it rock? Sorry, Scott, I haven't heard it yet. I'll listen to it and make sure to give you an answer. I don't know. And the next question is for you, Kinsey. What do you think about the character designs for Guilty Gear Strive? Do they rock?
Now I just feel guilty that I don't know that much about it. But to be fair, fighting games usually have really fun, interesting character design. I can't necessarily speak for Guilty Gear, but like my favorite fighting game franchise
right.
is Darkstalkers.
Okay.
And I think the character design is awesome. It goes everywhere from like a mummy guy to like a little like, bee girl. And then of course the succubus. Like it's awesome.
So to answer your question, Scott, if it looks anything like Darkstalkers, then they rock.
Then it totally rocks.
Yeah. Great.
Sweet. I don't have any final thoughts.
Okay. Well, this has been a hell of a show, Kinsey. Thank you so much. What did we talk about in this episode? What's the recap? What's happening?
Man, we covered a lot. We talked about E3, talked about Nintendo 64 turning 25. Although now I think about it, I missed their 21st birthday. That would have been really fun.
Yeah, we could have drank.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, yeah, not for 25th birthday, though.
But now they can rent a car.
Ooh. I knew there had to be a good milestone for them. Good job, N64.
Yeah. As a reminder, Car of Snowboarding is out on Oculus Quest 2, and it's coming soon to the Rift platform. Go get it. It's the best. We love it. And in 2 weeks, you're going to get to hear episode 7, where we're going to talk about more stuff we can't announce yet because we don't know what it's going to be. Where can people find you on social media, Kinsey?
You can find me at Kinzilla, Kinszilla, on all the things.
All the things. Sick. And you can find me at twitter.com/thehenrydemos. That's the only one. And Kinsey, where can they find all the Chuhai Labs awesome stuff?
And, of course, got to follow Chuhai Labs because, we're pretty rad. Mm-hmm. And that's at Chuhai Labs, all one word, on pretty much everything. Absolutely everything. You can find it. And we want to do a big shout out to our host, Greenlit Podcast Network. If you haven't heard all the other great podcasts on there, please do soon. Now, even. A lot of my favorite podcasts are on there. It's not me actually shilling for them. I genuinely love the podcast. Retronauts, No More Whoppers, so many great podcasts on there. So we want to thank them as usual. Final words, Kinsey, hit it. I'm going to open a Chuhai. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Nasty Labs. Nasty